In this evening's special edition of CIGtv News, we will be taking a look back at the legacy of Deputy Governor Honorable Franz Manderson and his journey as the leader of the civil service. We will share special moments from throughout the Deputy Governor's career in honor of his retirement. Good evening, and welcome to CIGtv News, your official source for the latest and most accurate government information. I am Liana Jarvis, and thank you for joining us for this special edition of CIGtv News. Honorable Franz Manderson began his civil service journey in 1988 as an hourly paid worker in the Immigration Department. He rose through the ranks to become Chief Immigration Officer in 2004, the same year he was called to the Cayman Islands Bar. In 2012, he was appointed Deputy Governor and Head of the Civil Service, leading more than 3,600 staff and serving as the first official member of Parliament. Here's a look at DG's early days in his role.
I've known Franz, I guess, 10, 15 years. I mean, he'd been over at immigration for a lot longer than I had direct dealings with him. No, I think Franz will do a tremendous job. I have a lot of confidence in him. And I was happy to see him complete his legal training some years ago, and even happier that he took up my invitation to come back to public service after he had done so. I asked him, if you come back in 5 years, I'd be happy. He's stayed more than that, and I hope he stays a lot longer.
Being the next Deputy Governor has afforded me the opportunity to put in place a number of new plans, new initiatives, or things that I would like to achieve for the public service. One of the things is that I want us to be a high-achieving organization, one that is respected, organization that looks after the welfare of its staff, but also an organization that demands high customer service.
I take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Manderson again, although I have done that on a personal basis. Also, to his appointment as Deputy Governor, I'm sure that he will do an exceedingly great job in that capacity. There is nothing more gratifying than seeing someone whom you have worked with and who, to a certain extent, you have helped to hone their particular skills, to see them assume positions of leadership within the government. I think also what is more important is the fact that he has come up through the ranks. So he's been able to identify with those persons who are in clerical officers' position, because he's started, from being a trainee in the Immigration Department, moving straight up the ladder. So that wide range of experience that he brings to the table gives him a better perspective of what is happening, and certainly puts his hand on the pulse in terms of what some of the possible solutions will be.
I've worked with Franz for quite a while now, actually. Initially, we were involved in Civil Service Association at one point. I've respected Mr. Manderson because of his knowledge, his wealth of experience, and his integrity. He has been a resource for me as a Chief Immigration Officer, as a new Chief Immigration Officer, and I've relied on him heavily on allowing me to move into this role and hopefully be as successful as he has been in his past. I think he'll do an excellent job as Deputy Governor. He's quite a young man, so he has a long career ahead of him as a Deputy Governor. He's quite respected by all, and I'm sure that Mr. Manderson, I find him to be one that he's respectful of where a person's expertise is, and will listen to staff, to heads of departments, ministers, whoever the case may be, in terms of getting feedback and using that feedback to make, the best decisions for the service or whether. And I think he'll do an excellent job.
For too long, the civil service has had a reputation of not providing excellent customer service. That will change under my leadership and with the cooperation that I will get from chief officers and the rest of the staff in the service. We need to think about not just meeting customer expectations, but exceeding customer expectations. I've been in the service for a very long time. I've been over 30 years, so I understand what it takes to be a good civil servant. I have an open door policy. I certainly want to be a visible leader. I want to get to know all the civil servants, visit with them, work with them to engage and engage with them so that we can build a good and effective civil service.
The Cayman Islands marked a major constitutional change just a few months into the Deputy Governor's tenure, the implementation of the Cayman Islands Bill of Rights. Mr. Manderson played a pivotal role in ensuring that the public service understood both the importance and implications of the Bill of Rights.
I think it'll be a bit more challenging at first until we understand some of the things that we're doing. Will we get this right every single time the first time? Probably not. But we will learn from those cases and we will ensure that any breaches are kept to a minimum. If we do wrong, we will say so and correct it. And but I'm confident that we will do a great job in implementing it.
Mr. Manderson has held true to many ideologies throughout his career, and one of the most paramount is the need to invest in Cayman's human capital through mentorship and internship. Within his first year as Deputy Governor, Mr. Manderson partnered with the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce to connect civil servants and young people with special mentorship opportunities.
Also, I thought as the leader in the civil service, the head of the civil service, it was something that I wanted to do, to lead by example. So I am doing it this year, and next year I'm going to insist that a number of civil servants get involved. I think we have a very small number now of civil servants who are involved in the mentoring program, but I would like to see that number dramatically increase next year so that civil servants continue to be part of a solution.
DG has continued his focus on developing young Caymanian talent until today. One example is the CIG internship program, where hundreds of opportunities are open to students throughout the civil service.
Does it make you proud to hear how civil servants feel about their job?
I love it. It's just an amazing campaign. Why I love it so much is because we are showcasing the talent and diversity within the civil service. We are expected to do the jobs to make people's lives better. That is the privilege of being a civil servant. However, sometimes we get a knock for not doing our jobs. The people don't understand the nature of our work. So it is so very important to let the public see that we have civil servants who are highly engaged, highly motivated, that they are proud to be part of this organization.
In 2013, the Deputy Governor began the Employee of the Year Award Scheme, a program that allowed outstanding civil servants to be rewarded for their demonstrable commitment to upholding the civil service pillars: passion, service, and integrity.
So I have to say that this is one of my favorite events to attend as Deputy Governor, head of the civil service. I get to see civil servants in action, get to recognize those who have exceeded our expectations, those who have worked extremely hard to make lives better. What I don't look forward to is Ms. Christine Wright giving me the folder and saying, DG, you now have to make a decision, because it has been one of the most difficult decisions that I have to make every year, is to choose one person to be the Employee of the Year. And as the evening progresses, you're going to see why it was such a difficult decision for me, because I can tell you without reservation, all 12 of our nominees are world-class civil servants. Let's give them a round of applause.
The Deputy Governor's Awards Ceremony is a highly attended broadcast event that the entire Cayman Islands community has grown to look forward to. While Mr. Manderson's responsibilities were extensive as a leader and change agent for the entire Cayman Islands Civil Service, in 2014 he found himself with the desire to do more to serve the Cayman Islands. He married his desire to boost wellness in the civil service with his philanthropic ambitions to serve the vulnerable within our community. This marriage of ideas is now known as the DG's 5K.
This year, having seen what we can do as a community when we all come together for a great cause, I have kept the bar high, and I'm going to continue to keep the bar high for these great causes.
Over the years, the race event has grown to over 3,000 participants and has raised over $1 million in support of Cayman's local charities. Mr. Manderson's contributions have been lauded all over the Cayman Islands, but among his most notable are his MBE and CBE post-nominal honors. He first became a member of the Order of the British Empire in June 2018 as a part of the Queen's birthday honors. Here is a look back at his reaction to receiving this prestigious honor.
I was very surprised. The governor called me into his office and said, DG, I have something very important to speak to you about. This was not what I was thinking. And then when he advised me that I had been awarded this by Her Majesty the Queen, I was a bit shocked, but I was very happy, and I was very grateful. Well, I got my certificate and badge of honor for services rendered in the Cuban refugee crisis. The two things are a lot different. The MB is obviously a much higher award, and I'm just really grateful and satisfied that I've received this award.
Then in 2026, DG was made a Commander of the Order of the British Empire for his contributions to the civil service and the Cayman Islands overall. A recurrent theme throughout the Deputy Governor's career has been his love for his family. He has been vocal about now being able to turn his attention to them fully as he steps down from the demands of his role as Deputy Governor.
I have a lot to be grateful for. We have a lot to be grateful for. I want to share with you just a few things that I am grateful for. I am grateful that the good Lord has given me and my wife the health and strength to be here with you all today. I am grateful that I'm going to get to spend my retirement with my mother, who sacrificed so much, and I mean a lot. For my sister and I look forward to being a more present son. This is not Batman. And my sister sent me a message yesterday, and she said, I can't wait to have my brother back. I've been gone for 45 years. It's a long time. I want to be a good friend again. I got friends in Westgate that I don't spend time with anymore. Guys, I'm coming back. I'm grateful that my wife and I are going to have a good time. Right, honey? Yeah. We're going to do some wonderful things. My son is not here. He sends his apologies. He's working. But he and I are going to have a good time. He and my daughter is going to have a good time. I'm not putting the pressure on you, Lisa, about anything else. But I have a lot to be grateful for.
The contributions of Mr. Manderson far extend what we have highlighted tonight, but they have not gone unnoticed. On behalf of the team here at CIGtv and the entire Department of Communications, we wish Mr. Manderson a restful retirement. Thank you, DG, for your legacy of service. If you're watching us on the CIG YouTube channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed with the facts straight from the source. That's all for today's news brief. I am Liana Jarvis. Have an amazing weekend.